Alright, on to parsnips. This is my first year growing them, but I suspect they're going to grow like a carrot because they kind of look like them. I did notice when I opened the package, the seeds are a lot bigger than carrots. The seeds look like almost like a flat sunflower seed. It says that 12 mils, so that's a centimeter or centimeter and a half, is good spacing, and that the same for depth. You don't need to go down very far with these. So when I made my row, I just took my hand and run it through the soil and made a bit of a trench, and I'm gonna just sort of sprinkle these in every little bit like that. And sometimes it's okay to plant a little bit closer together. If some of your seeds don't germinate and you find you have too much in one area, you can always thin out as they grow, and then that way you know you'll have a good harvest. You're not planting fields. So, like I say, I'm just going to go like that. I'm not going to be too worried about with parsnips and carrots as well. I'm not going to be too worried if there's some a little bit closer together than maybe recommended. And then I'm just going to take my hand like that and bury the two troughs that I've put in. I'm going to see what they do. I do know that parsnips will last like carrots in the ground well into the fall. So even after it gets cold into November and December, I've heard it said you can harvest these right out of the ground, which is kind of cool. And now carrots are going to go beside the parsnips, so I'll set that there just to remind me of where my row of parsnips is. Carrot seeds are very small, they're tiny, and they're very difficult to put in individually, and every year I get into a mess because I don't have the patience to put individual seeds in and do my spacing. So my approach to planting carrots has been to plant lots and thin as the summer grows. So you can eat them early on when they're just the little roots, and they're fine, they taste good. And then as you thin towards the fall, you'll get your bigger, longer, full grown carrots. So I'm not really careful with spacing, and with these, I tend to put them in my hand where they are so small, and maybe it is a patience thing. And I'll just take where I want my carrots, and I'll very carefully just sprinkle like this and over and then back, and I'll just make sure I watch them fall a little and make sure there's a little bit of space between them, almost like putting pepper on a plate or something. There's probably a more methodical way to do it, but I'm a hobbyist. I'm not what you would call a professional gardener, and this has worked for me. I've always produced lots of carrots, so I'm going to continue doing it. And you notice I didn't dig any holes or anything with the carrots. I'm going on the surface with the seeds, and it's almost like grass seed now. All you have to do now is just take your hand and go over top of where you've sprinkled, and that's plenty of depth. They'll germinate, and they don't need to be buried any major amount, and you'll do well. There's not a lot to say. They do take longer to germinate. Your carrots will take time. You'll see sprouts. Think, oh geez, I hope those carrots are still alive. But be patient with these ones. It'll be a while before you see sprouts. I think 3 to 4 weeks even. But they are an early crop. They will do well. It's always a bit of a gamble when you plant this early again because of the possibility of a very heavy frost late. We've had heavy frost into, well, end of May, and even into June here we've had frost come through and destroy crops. But on that note, if you don't put them in the ground, you're not going to produce regardless. So I'd rather have to re-sow than miss the opportunity to get my crop in early, because if you have a good spring, you'll end up producing so much more. I think it's worth it to stay on top of the sowing game. But that's all I can really think of to say about carrots now, and good luck.